Well, I just left the White House. We had a great celebration, great victory for California, and I'm looking forward working with the president and with the automakers and everyone to hit our goals by the year 2016, which would take, of course, 1.8 million gallons of oil reduction. I mean, think about that, a reduction of oil usage by 1.8 billion gallons. So this is really huge. This is an equivalent of taking 54 million cars off the road. That's what you call fighting global warming. That's what you call everyone coming together. So we want to congratulate, of course, the president for bringing everyone together. Again, great victory for California because we started that movement in 2002, and now the whole United States is doing it.
It's a worldwide crisis. We have a major problem in California, and I think if we work together, we can make it through this crisis. And we need the assistance. No bailout. We don't want a bailout. I didn't come for any bailout. We're going to make necessary cuts. We're going to be fiscally disciplined, but we still need to work together in order to move forward and to make everything function well in our state.
You should be happy.
I am happy.
So don't complain.
I'm trying not to
Sounds
complain.
like a complaint, right?
Wondering if you have a few minutes on just a few quick questions on the budget in
I just
California.
have a meeting right now.
Can we
Yes,
walk
at a
back?
defined time. Absolutely.
Voters are voting on budget balancing measures in California today. What's next if it doesn't pass? What's going to happen?
Well, I have, as you know, because I know you're on top of the situation, we've already made our May revise announcement this last week and gave two scenarios in the May revise. One is if the initiatives pass, and another one if they don't pass. We made it very clear that if they pass, we will have a deficit of $15.4 billion. If they don't pass, we will have a deficit of $21.3 billion. So it's just an additional $6 billion of a problem, but we have to make the cuts.
What are you going to do to fill the deficit holes? Tax raises?
No,
cuts?
taxes are out of the question. It would be cuts. Yes, just a little bit information we're going to give our folks and all the meetings that we had. That we just finished with Speaker Pelosi and with Barbara Boxer, Senator Feinstein, and everyone. We had a great meeting. We're looking forward to go back to California.
Yes, sir.
Anyway, just wanted to say that we had a terrific meeting with the Secretary of Sebelius about some of the confusions regarding the economic stimulus money, and those confusions were cleared up this morning. We're very happy to report that the people of California, the billions of dollars that were promised through the economic stimulus package. And as I said, there will be $500 million for California because it's very important under these very difficult circumstances that we are in, that we get all the money that we deserve from the federal government. And so I was very glad about this, and also the Secretary is going to work with us with various different flexibilities to make sure that we're going to get as much money as we deserve. So thank you very much for that. And if you have any questions about any of the rest of it, please feel free.
Governor, did you get the...
We've seen loud and clear yesterday from the results that the overwhelming majority of people told Sacramento, go and do your work yourself, don't come to us with your problems, and we don't believe in going to take money from Proposition 63, no to taking money from Proposition 10, no in redoing the lottery and creating more money through the lottery, and no on increasing taxes and extending the tax increase 2 more years. So there was a clear no on all of those issues, and so now we have to recognize that and move forward and make all of the changes through cuts. And that's what we laid out now, May revise, and that's what we're going to do. I'm going to meet with all the legislative leaders, Democrats and Republicans today, and we want to let the people of California know, thank you very much for going out and voting and participating in the process. If you agreed with us or not agree with us, we appreciate their participation, and we hear their voice loud and clear, and we will always
the cuts come from?
There will be, the three areas. This education. We already have made that proposal in the May revise. There will be around $5.3 billion in additional cuts in education. There will be severe cuts in healthcare, which is another area where we, spend a lot of money. And then, of course, you have to go into the other areas like prisons. That's why I proposed the release or letting some of the undocumented immigrants that are in prisons right now make sure that they get handed over to the federal government, the federal authorities, because they will save us $180 million. And then to take some of the non-violent, non-sex offenders, non-serious offenders, and put them in local institutions rather than in state prisons. So those are the kind of things in law enforcement. So from all these areas we will have to make cuts. And Kim, do you want to talk a little bit about healthcare or something like that? This is Kim O'Shea, our Secretary of Health and Human Services, who was just with me on these meetings with Secretary
A little closer to the microphone, please.
Just building upon the governor's comments about where the additional reductions will be, the May revision he put out last week contemplated the potential of those initiatives going down and the need for additional reductions. Health and Human Services is slated for an additional $2.8 billion in reductions. In many respects, those are proposed reductions that would bring programs down to the minimum level allowed under federal law. It would eliminate programs that the state is not mandated to provide, state-only programs such as food assistance, cash assistance for legal immigrants is one example. But also the budget does contemplate significant additional reductions in state Medicaid program. Medicaid is the second largest general fund expenditure in California. The governor's proposed about $300 million in additional reductions and an additional $750 million in savings that would be achieved by securing additional federal flexibility for how we organize and manage and implement this program. That was a major reason for the governor taking the trip this week, today and yesterday, to talk with members of the delegation, to talk with Secretary Sebelius about how even with the infusion of federal resources through stimulus, California cannot afford the Medicaid program that's currently structured and governed by federal rules and requirements. So we got a very positive discussion with the Secretary, very constructive, very engaged, and very much committed to working with the governor and his administration to find additional ways that California could slow the rate of spending in Medi-Cal and better live within our means during these difficult times.
Let me just say before we fly back to Sacramento, the last 2 days obviously have been interesting 2 days, because one day we are here and we are celebrating a huge victory for the state of California, which is that the federal government has adopted our regulations when it comes to tailpipe emission standards and reducing the usage of fossil fuel, reducing greenhouse gas emissions and all of those things. So that was a huge victory for President Obama to look at us, what we have done, and then to bring everyone to the table, the car manufacturers, labor, and all the other stakeholders, and come to this agreement on all the other states. And then the next day, you wake up and you hear about the results of the initiatives, how they all went down. So it's like, you have a combination always of victories and of, losses. And the important thing is that you adopt in those kind of, situations. And we're very happy that the federal government is now going in the right direction when it comes to reducing greenhouse gases, but we also make the adjustments when it comes to the budget situation, and to make the necessary cuts. And that's the bottom line. And I'm glad I came to Washington so we can have those meetings and also be at the White House and celebrate the great victory for California. Thank you very much, and you all have a good day. Thank you.
That's not mine.